What is going on, everybody? My name is Conor Lawler. Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero. Here on the Heroes for Hire podcast, we are back again talking one comic book character, as we do every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, so we generally just give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. As always, I am joined by my best pal, Mr. Shaun. Shaun, how's it going?
I'm good, Conor. I've officially retired from Hero or Zero. I did Craven properly, finally. It's never getting better than that, to be honest.
This the end. So you're telling me you're doing no work, all of the no work you've been doing for years. I'm telling you I'm going to
continue to do no work.
Oh, so you're sticking at the same level. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, the show's not going to change. It's just...
the same level of quality, week in and week out.
Yeah, I put all those jingles in.
If everyone missed it, Shaun did Craven the Hunter last week for his Hero Zero, because Shaun does Marvel characters, I do DC characters, and Shaun has done Craven the Hunter 3 times now.
Yep.
And it just, I think we might need to do it again. I don't think it was that good. But
oh no, oh heavens.
But so we kind of like to mix it up. We've done hundreds of these shows, so if you have a favourite comic book character, we'd recommend going back through the catalogue. They're probably there somewhere along the way. If this is your first episode, you don't have to do anything. If it's your second or above, we'd really appreciate a 5 stars on Spotify or on iTunes, maybe a review, maybe a comment, just something to really help us out. Just in terms of the algorithm and all that stuff.
Make the robots like us a little bit more.
I don't know how the robots work, but they don't like it when you don't do that stuff.
I've
so
been
they do like it.
insulting them to their face.
Yeah, and then ultimately you'll be the first to die in the revolution. So you don't want that. Get that granny doesn't know how social media works. You're up first. Look, Hero Zero, I think it's going to be a bit of a strange week, because I'm doing a character that we did before many years ago during lockdown.
Okay,
it was a weird time.
In the weeds. Okay,
it was a weird time, and I feel like we probably weren't at our best due to the fact of, like, you know, we all remember that time.
Yeah, it wasn't a great time for comedy, I would say.
The ha-has were not coming, because everyone, you know, was on edge. On edge.
Everyone real tense all the time for a few months there.
Get over it, I said. So, like, what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to talk about a character that, I mean, is a really interesting character. Now, I think a lot of people who have read the title will laugh at that, because he's not that interesting by himself. But he is interesting because he's so irrelevant. And that is what I find interesting about him.
Right.
The character I'm going to be doing this week, Shaun, is Cluemaster.
Cluemaster.
Cluemaster, yes.
Sounds like, and I don't know about Cluemaster. I know we've talked about it, but I forgot everything. Is it just shit Riddler?
It's goddamn just shit Riddler. But
fuck yeah, it's shit Riddler.
Yeah. Right. So it's basically just Riddler, but, you know, he first appeared in 1966, and he was one of those huge one-off bad guys that appeared over the decades. So he's basically so derivative of the Riddler. It was actually hard for the writers to avoid mentioning it in continuity.
So did they lean into it?
So he was kind of brought in, but then you have to also remember that around that time Riddler made a couple of appearances. Riddler hadn't really made any appearances in comic books per se, right? So he had appeared in like late 40s, and then I mean, he wasn't big, so like he went away for like 15 years. Like he never appeared again. Nowadays, Riddler's a well-known character, but he appeared once, and then they were like run through a load more one-off characters.
Isn't it a thing that he started appearing more after he was in the movie?
No, in the 1966 Adam West Batman show was actually the first. So he started appearing in that, and that was in 1965. And so then 1966 comes along, and Gardner Fox and Carmine Infantino, they decide that they want to come up with maybe something else, maybe a different clue-dropping villain to go forward. Maybe they weren't convinced that the Riddler was all that, even though he was appearing in the Adam West show. So they said, this is going to be the new one. He's a Cluemaster.
We need a Riddler for the hot new kids of the 60s. All right, this ain't your granddaddy's Riddler.
He needs to be hip hop happening, is what they said, right? So they came up with the Cluemaster, and he kind of only appeared sporadically, right? They basically set him up as an obvious choice for later on, like an Injustice League. Which was a few years after, and it was just a joke league, right? They were all just laughing stocks at that point. But Cluemaster is not a good character, but he can be written well. So if someone decides they want to take a stab at him, he doesn't really bring anything new to the table, or especially anything interesting. At best, he's basically a C-list villain. Right.
But
I'm not pitching him big.
No, but C-list villains can be amazing. The Marvel example is The Spot, who's a joke until he takes down an entire mafia headquarters.
I'm also thinking of a character we covered a few weeks ago with Gail Simone, completely turned around Catman.
Yes.
And turned him into a fan favourite after being a complete joke, right? But Cluemaster's claim to fame is nothing to do with him. Well, he was involved at one stage very early on, because he's not famous for him. He's famous for who his daughter is. And she is what gives him kind of fame and gives him relevance, because his daughter is Stephanie Browne and his daughter is Spoiler, who we actually haven't covered in Hero Zero, because she's bad. I have this weird thing of, like, I think the Bat family, I only like to touch on them once every 6 months, and so I rifle through them and then I don't get to them. If you don't know who the Spoiler is, very major character. Stephanie Browne has been Robin, has been Batgirl, but she originally started as Spoiler, and she's a massive fan favourite in the Bat family.
And Conor is right. He doesn't do... We don't do mainline big heroes all that often. For example, like Nightwing was episode 50 of Hero Zero, if you can believe.
We've never touched him since.
No, why would we? He's a shit character.
The episode also doesn't exist anymore, so I could do Nightwing one of these weeks, but it's always one of those where I'm like, will I do it this week? But me and Shaun will be here for an hour.
This is the thing, is that we are on a schedule. We do have a hard out with most of these recordings.
And so I'm always like, do I subject Shaun to me going, and then he does another thing, and then he does another thing, and that's for like all of the Bat family members. So I sometimes cover them when Shaun's not here, so then I can just like rifle through it.
And they're still like an hour long.
They're still always an hour. Because I just love that whole, like, I just love that, like, that world. And so Stephanie Browne is Arthur Browne, or Cluemaster's daughter.
Right.
And she discovers that her dad is actually an ineffective C-list villain. Stephanie is a very cool, popular, high visibility character. And that means that for her story to unfold properly, Cluemaster actually needs to remain exactly that, ineffective. Because for her to like grow into her character, her dad actually kind of has to be a bit shit, because she has to resent him enough to become a hero.
So wait, so she resents the fact that he's a bad criminal?
No, she resents that he's a criminal in general, but how she gets into superheroing is she starts like capturing him, or like foiling his plans,
right,
and then realising that she likes doing that, and it goes bigger with Batman and Robin. That's
an interesting origin. It's very close to home. Of just like, I don't want this to happen, and I know how to stop it, and he's not going to be able to counter me.
And that's actually how she's brought into the comic books, is just like, her dad being a C-list villain helps grow a massive Bat family member who's a fan favourite, because she needs to get that start of, like, if her dad was Joker, I don't think she's at anything really.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah. So Arthur Browne, I want to talk about him a little bit. He's a little known game show host back in the day, and he was okay as a game show host, but it was kind of like a mystery kind of Clue game show that he was hosting. But the show was cancelled, and angered, Arthur basically began a criminal career to pay the rent, as everyone did in the 60s.
It's the only source of employment in the 60s, as we well know.
Literally copying the Riddler's MO, Browne became the Cluemaster and tried to baffle Batman by leaving clues to his crimes similar to that in his game show.
So Batman has consistently at this point beaten the Riddler a number of times. And Cluemaster, a guy who was on a TV show, is like, I can do better than that.
But here's the thing, he's built different. And I think that's very important to know. Like, he looks at himself, he says, I'm built different. And so I could easily outsmart that 6'4" gigantic human. He's a fucking idiot. So he then starts leaving some clues. And he also meets a woman named Crystal at this point, and he has a daughter with her named Stephanie. And so Arthur started his criminal campaign as the Cluemaster by a daring but unsuccessful attempt to learn the secret identity of the Batman in order to gain a fighting edge.
Okay. If I love anything in this world, it's a plan that's daring but unsuccessful.
Because, and then as I always end all of my stories when there's a C-list villain, Batman showed up and kicked the shit out of him.
And this is like 60s Batman. Like, he could very well kill a man at that point.
Oh, he's not taking it. No, 60s Batman is much nicer than 70s Batman. 60s Batman is Adam West. It's more cartoony. 70s is when they went really hard the other way to try and make up for what Adam West had done.
That's when Comics Code Authority got lifted, and they were just like, okay, we can do whatever.
And Batman was just like breaking people's spines just to try and get like a location out of them. Just like no reason.
Sorry, silly Batman we're working with.
Yeah. So he went away for a few years. Many years actually. And Cluemaster then made his grand reappearance in Detective Comics 647, written by Chuck Dixon and Tom Lyle. And in this 3-story issue, Cluemaster has reformed. So he's been sent to Blackgate, and in those like 20 years in between, he's reformed. He's no longer obsessed with leaving clues to crimes that he makes.
Sorry, mental health treatment worked in the DC universe.
It in 1970s to late 80s and 90s, yes.
Right. Can we not go back to that, lads? I'm rare to say let's go back to the 70s and 80s method of mental health treatment, but in this one specific circumstance,
this one guy,
it could be the move.
And it cured his I mean, to be honest with you, in Blackgate, they probably just beat him up until eventually he was like, actually, I might not start. Like, I don't like clues anymore. I promise.
He got concussed so many times. He just got a new personality.
So he was cured of his tendency to leave clues, and he comes out, but he's not cured of his tendency to join crime, because he originally basically joins a gang and he plans their heists in exchange for 10% of their winnings, because Cluemaster, very intelligent, tactical, knows what he's talking about, so he kind of uses his strengths in different ways, and so he's kind of just like a bit of the brains, and he just like sets up all the plans and then he lets them go.
He feels very street level, like he's just smarter than most people, it feels like.
He's the guy in the chair, so he kind of takes advantage of the criminals who are idiots.
Okay.
And so he's like, yeah, you just do this exact thing and then you will win. However, soon this isn't enough. Also, in these issues, this is our first appearance of Spoiler, who we don't know is Stephanie at this point, but then it is revealed later on.
There's a new young hero on the scene.
Exactly. Later he kills the leader by suffocating him. He basically gets sick of being second in command because he can only do it for so long, and he puts like a strong polymer over the leader's mouth and nose.
Oh God.
And suffocates him to death.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's gruesome.
Yeah, he's real vicious then. And then he begins to plan a master heist. During this time, it is revealed that Arthur Browne has a daughter named Stephanie, but rarely spends any time with her due to long periods of incarceration. So
yeah, that would do it.
Stephanie's introduced. He never gets to see her. When he returns to Gotham, rehabilitated, Stephanie becomes furious when she discovers that he's returned to crime without his need to leave clues behind.
So wait, She would have been fine if he was still leaving clues.
I think it's more annoying that he's been cured but not cured of the crimes.
Yeah. So okay, it's not that you had it. So you're actually a shit person.
Yeah. It's one of those where like you got rid of the bad bit, but not the right bad bit. Like you're still doing the crimes. You're just not doing the shit clues.
Yeah, and you could just come back and be a dad if you wanted to.
So making a costume for herself, she calls herself the Spoiler, finds out her father's plans, and leaves clues so that the police and Batman can stop him every time he's about to commit a crime.
So she takes up the clue thing to make things easier. That's a very clever new superhero move. Like,
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So Robin spots Spoiler on the rooftops during a police bust of Cluemaster's apartment. This is Tim Drake at this point.
Good Robin.
Because Tim and Stephanie, they're big fans of each other. Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Right. But yeah, the police turn up to his apartment and they unmask her. Though she like takes out Robin by hitting him in the face with a brick at this point, right?
His one weakness.
You know what? It's not said often enough how effective brick to the face is as a super weapon.
There's a trend on TikTok of people going across like busy intersections, but they just carry a brick at the same time.
Of course.
Everyone's real respectful about stopping.
You don't want to fuck with somebody with a brick.
Not at all. It's wild.
I think you could rob a bank with a brick.
Oh, 100%. And you walk into a bank with just a hammer. Oh, something's going down.
So Robin tracks her down, and Batman, Robin and Spoiler basically set up a plan in motion to take down the Cluemaster, forbidding Spoiler from going to the bus because she was only motivated by revenge. So they basically are like, of course Batman does the thing of, you're not coming with me, you only want revenge. But she's like, he's my dad, I'm after kind of leading you this far, let me go.
Well, as soon as both of your parents are dead, then come talk to me.
I'm going to kill them right now, Stephanie, he said. Now give me a gun.
I hate parents. That's my thing.
You know that. Catching Cluemaster at his mall heist while he hauls a giant glass canister of money away, Stephanie is then held hostage by Cluemaster. So she turns up anyway. Of course she does. And he basically holds her hostage, captures her, and puts her atop the canister, and it's a classic thing of holding a vial of acid to her face as Batman tries to stop him.
And she's wearing a mask at this point, right? He doesn't know it's his daughter.
No, I think the mask is on at this point, yes. Batman tells Cluemaster to stop, and Cluemaster, thinking Batman will only lecture him about how it is morally wrong to disfigure a child, is taken aback.
What the fuck? I was taking a drink as you said that.
Cluemaster's logic is that yada yada yada, this fucking guy, so I can't disfigure a child. Why can't I? Fuck's sake, Batman.
It's the husband being like, well, I didn't say anything because I knew you'd be mad.
Can a man not have hobbies?
Burning a child's face off is a hobby, is it?
I want to burn a child's face, he says. And Bruce is like, dude, it's not great. And
hey, I'm going to have to step in here and say no.
Like, Batman's like, I'm okay with killing her parents, but I am not okay with disfiguring.
Because of woke.
Because of woke. No, so Cluemaster was like, yada yada yada, this guy won't stop. I'm just going to disfigure the child, don't worry about it. But then, Shaun, he's shocked, taken aback when Batman simply reveals, spoiler, is not just any child, it's his child.
He starts pouring the acid even faster.
He's like, burn her quicker. Spoiler uses the shock of the revelation to gain the upper hand and attempts to use one of the chains attached to the gunship, lifting the canister, to strangle her own dad. But Batman prevents this. Cluemaster is then taken back to Blackgate.
No. Only I kill parents.
Only I may dance. So then he gets taken back to Blackgate. But that is our first introduction to Stephanie Browne, who goes on to be like a massive part of Bat Family stuff. And it's so cool that her dad is just an idiot. And how she gets there is because her dad is like a low-level crook.
Yeah, it's cool seeing a hero come from like a villainous family. Like the fact that like Miles Morales' uncle is the Prowler, that's an interesting dynamic to have. And it's a similar thing with Stephanie Browne. It's like, and the fact that she gets into it because one, she's a good person, but also she's like understandably upset at her dad for basically choosing crime over her.
And each time the Cluemaster escapes or starts a new plan, in comic books, every time he shows up, Stephanie dons her costume again in order to foil him, over and over again. Eventually, she realises that she actually enjoys being a hero and begins regular patrols as spoilers, capturing other criminals, finally. And for a brief period of time, she even actually replaced Tim Drake as Robin. But she was really reckless and rebellious and didn't follow Batman's rules. So I think she lasted like 2 weeks. I'm not quite sure the number of that, but she didn't last very long.
This was when Tim Drake's dad was like, hey, you can't be Robin anymore.
Yeah, so I think Tim... Wait, no, if I'm really trying to remember this was also around the time where Tim's girlfriend, he had a different girlfriend, she got pregnant, and you had the big comic book cover of I'm pregnant, but it's not his child, it's somebody else's child.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And that was all around the same time, as far as I know.
Comics got messy for a bit there.
They just wanted the cover of like Tim's girlfriend being like, I'm pregnant. You're like, my God.
There was a time when just putting a gorilla on the cover would make comics sell better.
And so Tim steps away, and I think Stephanie kind of fills in. It's like a weird thing where like the two of them kind of like each other, but now she takes over his role. I also think he fights with Batman at this point as well.
That'd be like,
but then when he comes back, he realizes like she's not ready for that, and he gives out to Bruce. And so it's like a weird thing then of like the drama is all like, you don't want me to be Robin because I've taken your spot, and he's like, no, but you just have no training and you're probably going to die.
This will kill you.
He's killed everybody else, trust me.
I'm the third one. Only Dick is still around at this point.
The one before me, he ain't breathing no more. Okay.
He's dead forever. Mark my words. Dead
He'll
forever.
Never come back. Certainly not in a helmet. I'll tell you that. With several other villains, Cluemaster also then became a member of the Injustice League, as I mentioned, and then later part of the Justice League Antarctica. Attempting to reform, he joined the Justice League Antarctica, which was a joke team that was just ridiculous.
Right.
Cluemaster and his teammates eventually volunteer to join the second Suicide Squad because he wants a full pardon for his crimes.
Right, but he's just going to be a regular man in the Suicide Squad, but not like a Rick Flag type. Ric Flair, Jesus. A Rick Flag type.
Hopefully not a Ric Flair type either, but a Rick Flag type. No, he has no real... He's tactical. He's got a bit of kung fu about him, if that counts.
We all had kung fu in the 70s, like.
He doesn't have like guns or anything. Like, no, this is 90s at this stage.
He's got no special skills at all, other than clues.
Hey.
And he doesn't even do that anymore, really.
He's good at he's got chutzpah. He's got a lot of chutzpah, so he does.
Chutzpah's no use in the field, Connor, as you well know.
Like, what are you, Amanda Waller? Let the guy die if he wants to. Right? He also, there was a really sad thing of around this time, he also hopes to make Stephanie proud of him if he goes to join the Suicide Squad and gets a pardon for all of his crimes. Obviously, she's never really going to forgive him.
No, but he could just turn himself in, serve his time, and then be a good dad, but... Hey.
No reason to. That's ridiculous.
That's too hard.
That's too hard. Gotta put a bomb in my brain.
Because the thing is, he just wants a pardon then so his daughter will like him. He doesn't feel bad about any of it.
Oh, no. He's just like, she won't fucking talk to me. Just because I tried to disfigure her.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
That's because I held her hostage with fucking acid.
Get over yourself. During the mission, which involves dealing with terrorists, Cluemaster sees his friends, who are other people in the team, and you're going to like these. This was the great Suicide Squad team that they got. This is the James Gunn team at the start of the Suicide Squad.
This is the sacrificial team.
this is Big Sir, Clock King, and Multiman, along with Cluemaster. The other three all die, except for Cluemaster. And in the resulting chaotic battle, Cluemaster seemingly saves another member of the team. Major disaster.
They're very one and done characters.
The most niche, like, arm fall off boy villains of all time. There's probably like less than a paragraph on them in DC history. So he survives, well, maybe not Clock King, but he survives the incident with a year's recuperation in the hospital. He also gets shot many times in this, and he survives because it's kind of implied that, like, he's thinking of his daughter at this point, that he's like, do it for her kind of thing. But
right,
I don't think he's ever actually talked to her. Like, I think it's all like in his head that
all
he's
of
like,
their conversations presumably happen while he's in handcuffs,
and he's like, I'm gonna change next time, baby.
Don't you worry.
When he got out, he discovers, however, that in the meantime, and there is a massive storyline in Batman comics where Stephanie dies. And this is a major, major plot point in Batman comic books around, I think it's 2001, 2002, around that time. And so his daughter is killed. And he comes out of prison. He finds this out. And he is fucking furious at Batman. He's immediately creates a campaign for culpability. She dies in, it's the earthquake one, or is it the No Man's Land? It's...
No Man's Land is the earthquake, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's No Man's Land. I'm pretty sure.
Do you want me to look it up?
It might be the other one. There's two of them, and I always mix the names up.
And does Stephanie Browne fucking die? Her death in the 2004 crossover storyline Batman War Games.
War Games and No Man's Land are always the ones I mix up. Yeah, War Games was different. She released the plans. It's a whole thing. Let's talk into it. Blaming Batman, it's a long story. Blaming Batman for his involvement in Stephanie's death. And he very rightly says she's not the first child working with Batman that died. And so Batman should be brought to justice, is what he says.
Right, he's going to take down Batman single-handedly.
Well, he's now fueled by anger because Batman killed his daughter, who he hasn't talked to in years.
Fair. Okay. So what's his end goal? What's his game plan?
Well, now Cluemaster has an all new reason to hate Batman. He changes his name to Aaron Black and is attempting to take on Batman. After all, this is not the first child, as I said, to die. It's also then revealed, however, that Leslie Tompkins faked Stephanie's death in that storyline and switched her body with another blonde woman. Right?
Jeez.
And comic books. And then she becomes the third Batgirl. So he's no longer angry because his daughter's now alive.
But some other innocent woman is just fucking dead. He's like, Batman, me and you were cool.
We're cool. But I gotta kill that other girl's parents now. And there's also a little story that he poisoned Stephanie at one stage, and
on purpose?
it's basically implied that he wants to make her a better Batgirl. So she won't be ever severely injured again. So he's now like fighting her to try and make her better in a weird way.
That's a fucked dynamic. It's interesting, but it's fucked.
And powers and abilities, Sean. This is what you were talking about. This is a fucking long list. Do you remember my list for Martian Manhunter?
I do.
Basically the same length.
Okay, well, let's get to it, I suppose.
Abilities. Tactical analysis.
Pretty good.
There you go.
I'd say most super villains or heroes have that.
The second one he has is OCD.
It comes in many forms.
He has a mental disorder akin to the Riddler that forces him to leave clues as a scene of all the crimes that he makes. But he then got healed of that, so technically he still only has technical analysis.
Okay, but he's an example of the products of therapy. Yeah, that's a skill.
His true ability is that he survived. He actually talked. He talked his problems out.
Yeah.
He learned from it and he grew.
Folks, his true skill is bravery.
His true skill is the friends he made along the way and all the kids he disfigured.
Oh, he did disfigure kids, yeah.
I disfigured so many kids, but it was done with tactical analysis, so that's
If I don't disfigure this kid, we're going to lose.
Guys, somebody needs to go around the side while I disfigure this kid.
Everyone leave and let me disfigure a child.
And we'll flank them from the left as I burn this child.
I need to do it to think.
He also has just weapons in terms of he has a flare, smoke bombs, paralysing gas, grenades, just the usual stuff.
All non-lethal up until the grenades there.
Yeah, he is lethal and he is vicious, but also he's shit.
Yeah, but like you say, he is interesting because his daughter is Stephanie Browne.
Yeah, it doesn't work if he's way too good that she can't capture him when she's 15 and is just starting out.
Yeah, he serves to be the gateway into crime fighting for her.
He serves as the gateway to one of the most popular characters in the Batman world.
Yeah, which is that's story-wise, that's what he exists for.
And forever, that character is now always linked to the Bat family. So when you see Cluemaster and Arthur Browne, you always think through some weird like if you know 6 people or whatever, there's all these dots. Him and Batman are sort of linked, but very loosely.
Yeah, I would it would be interesting if they did and they might have done this. I'm sure they've thought about it, but do and not to talk about Craven again, but do Craven's Last Hunt, but the Riddler, the Riddler's last game. And Riddler is gone at the end of it. And then Cluemaster rises up as the new Riddle-based villain.
Oh yeah, and he's a master of clues.
Master of clues. But no OCD, he's just quite good at clues now.
His 2 abilities are tactical analysis and OCD.
Honestly, he'd be a pretty good help in the Bat family.
But he wouldn't be I don't think he would, because he's not as good as anybody else in the team. He's just kind of there.
He's probably not even as good as Alfred at
No,
tactics.
Alfred definitely has more tactical analysis than him, but just have him there. He'd be coming up with plans 3 days after Bruce already came up with it.
Yeah.
He's what if we do this? Yeah.
We did
that yesterday.
He can manage maybe the running of the house for Alfred some days.
He can wash the dishes, tactically.
Yeah. He'll put them in the plate,
he'll disfigure those dishes. Order. All day.
He'll drop acid on those dishes, don't you? Not drop acid on them.
So that is my report on the Cluemaster, Shaun.
Very good report, Conor. You gave me very few clues in that report as to how it was going to go.
I hate when I mix up War Games and No Man's Land, by the way, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to get hate mail, but don't worry about it.
It's common. It reminds me of Young Justice episode.
No, it doesn't.
40.
No, it doesn't.
Haven't started watching it yet, but I will update you as I watch it.
Any day now. Any day, we're waiting. Shaun, would you like to take us out?
Yes, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Hero or Zero. We will be back on Monday with the Heroes for Hire podcast, and then next Friday with another episode of Hero or Zero. Big thank you to everyone over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. Link to that is in the description. If you want to support us over there, we really, really appreciate it. Helps us keep making the show. If you want to send us Heroes or Zeros, there's a place to send it that we will definitely see. And if you want to support us in other ways, there's a merch store, heroesforhire.ie/shop. Twitter is @HeroesForHirePod, the 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Detective Divilment's discussion group. Instagram is Heroes for Hire podcast, and the best way to ever help out the show is to tell one human being that we exist.
Just a one, please.
And I think that's about it, Conor.
I think so. So I've been Conor Lorraine.
I've been Shaun Meighan.
I shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.